Often seen for miles around, on today's film from the Fells, we're taking on the popular Pendle Hill circular walk. Superb for walkers and landscape photographers alike. Lucky for me, I'm into both of those things, so join me on today's 7-mile walk for what promises to be a great day out in this stunning part of Lancashire. Good morning and welcome to today's walk, where we are in a rather sunny looking Barley here in Lancashire. Of course, we're here to do the famous Pendle Hill walk, so let's get cracking, shall we? Down in the village of Barley, there's a pay and display car park, as well as toilets and a handy little cafe. If you arrive early enough, there's also free parking roadside just before entering the car park. Snooze you lose. It's such a lovely little village is Barley, but during the summer it does get busy down here, so do be considerate of the locals and don't park anywhere you shouldn't. Oh, and there's a couple of decent pubs here in Barley for after you walk. Pendle Inn and my favourite, Barley Mo. Right, let's get cracking. Within minutes, we start the gradual climb up out of the village. It's dogs on leads for this first section at least, and you can't say the farmer hasn't warned you. For the most part, this walk is well signposted out of the village. We didn't get much of a summer in 2024, but on this day it started out rather sunny, so we're here making the most of it. Now today's route up Pendle Hill, it's a very popular one. I don't claim to have created this route or anything like that. It's around 5.5 miles, and right from the off from Barley, we're heading for the summit. I think it's just under 2 miles to get to the very top of Pendle Hill from there. This particular route does include the steps up to the top of Pendle Hill, the famous steps. It's pretty steep, not gonna lie, but the views, whenever you stop to take a breath, just wow. On a clear sunny day, you can see for miles up there. The ascent gradually gets steeper before hitting those famous steps. Hope you're ready to put a sweat on. Don't worry, the views alone will make this climb worthwhile. You can't help but stop on occasion to take it all in. I can imagine this is what the final drag up to the summit of Everest looks like, a line of folk all in pursuit of reaching the top. My motivational treat to keep me going. My advice here is to just take your time. What's the rush? Focus on one step at a time. I'm not going to lie, it is a slog this section, but after a little while it does ease off. Just enjoy the views, it takes your mind off the pain. Don't talk to me, I'll see you at the top. Okay, seriously, how is this youngster running up past me? And he's done. See ya. It just keeps going, this climb. Finally made it. But before we turn off left for the Pendle Hill trig point, I just wanted to show you something. An interesting little hidden gem over by the edge of the hill. Follow me. Wow, these views just never get old. Okay, so if you have been up Pendle Hill before, I'm just curious if you have stumbled across this well hidden gem. This is George Fox's well. He was the founder of the Quaker movement, and apparently he stopped here to quench his thirst, and he recorded it in his journals. My advice would be to not drink from this anymore, but it is an interesting piece of history worth searching out. Before we continue, just a quick ads break if I may, because this film from the Fells is sponsored by me. Okay, not quite the fancy sponsors other walktubers seem to have, but I just wanted to point out that clever old me actually managed to set up a Patreon community. I honestly believe that Patreon communities are a great idea for small creators like myself. This is our chance to give back to our communities in different ways, especially if they're looking for more value from us. Whether it be the best walks to do, the hidden gems to look out for, day out itineraries, you name it, I've probably been asked for this information across all the different social media platforms. So hopefully I'm going to be able to package it all up and pop it in my Patreon. And in return, communities are able to help their favourite creators in a small way. You'll be surprised how these small monthly contributions will help in a big way. Anyway, if you are interested in all the various locations I tend to walk, the photography hotspots I try to visit, hidden gems on the way like today's well, then do check out my Patreon community. I'll leave a link for this in the description below. And who knows, if we can grow it big enough, maybe we can arrange a community group hike sometime. Thanks for listening, and I'll get you back to today's film. Right, drink stop done. Let's get to the trig point, shall we? Before we head that way, there's a handy seating area for gobbling up sandwiches. I won't be a minute. I just love this capture of Henry, sat patiently waiting. Not enough know this, but there are many different ways to walk up Pendle Hill. Here's footage from a cracking group walk I did with friends from another start point, the village of Pendleton. You can find several alternative walking routes for climbing up Pendle Hill by searching for Summit Else on Google. Back to today's circular route from Bali, I'm fully fueled and good to go. Nothing's going to wipe the smile off my face today. I just love a good ramble up Pendle. With the summit in sight, I'd normally stop for a selfie or two at the trig point, but with a young family there enjoying themselves, I didn't want to ruin the fun, so a quick tap on the trig and onwards we went. Well, I wasn't going to get my moment at the trig point today, a bit too busy. But that's what happens when you come in the summer, you're always going to get crowds up at the top. And to be honest, it's nice to see those kids having their moment, sat on the trig, you know, a sense of achievement. Fantastic. I've climbed Pendle a lot in recent years. One of my favourite times was this frosty morning walk starting from the village of Downham. If you want no crowds up at the summit, I'd climb the hill in winter, but be warned, it's blooming cold up there. Next, we're joining the Ribble Valley Jubilee Trail, descending towards Ogden Clough. Small river crossing ahead, perhaps a little faster flowing after heavy rainfall, but never too challenging. This is Ogden Clough, by the way, even more stunning when we look at it from above. This path also takes us to the Nick of Pendle, one of several starting points for walking up Pendle Hill. You get the idea, there's lots of ways to climb this hill. Here's a little bit of Henry Cam. He does deserve more airtime on these walk films, bless him. Not a soul in sight. Eventually, the valley bends off to the left, and for today's route, we'll be following it. I love flying the drone around here. Again, it just looks like another world from above. Drones certainly offer a unique perspective of the landscapes around us. By the way, if you are ever interested in the camera equipment that I use for my walks, including my drone, you can find all this information in the description below. It's nice and calm down in the valley. So this is Upper Ogden Reservoir. Once you pass this first reservoir, it's actually quite easy to just follow the road and it'll take you all the way back to the village of Barley. But to extend this adventure a little further, as you pass this small coppice on your left, take the stile on your right. Steady coming down this first section, it can get slippy in parts. On this section of the route, you'll spot what's known as a tercet. This is tercet number 2, one of 10 cast iron waymakers installed back in 2012 along a 51-mile stretch. They're actually inscribed with a verse of a poem to commemorate 400 years since the hanging of the 10 accused Pendle Witches. Fascinating. Onwards, and we're heading into Fell Wood next, with nice views overlooking Lower Ogden Reservoir. I do love a good woodland trail. There's just something magical about trees towering above. Everything just seems so calm and peaceful. From here, we follow the well-marked trail through the woods until we reach a swing gate heading into a farmer's field. Dogs on leads for this bit. Oi, Henry, come back. Good lad. At this point the rain began to fall, so I decided to cut through the field and back towards Lower Ogden Reservoir, which is a little shorter than the official Pendle Hill circular walk. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of this walk, and unfortunately the rain has started to come in now. Yeah, but it's not finishing on a downer for me. I've really enjoyed this walk. I absolutely love Pendle Hill Circular. It's just got a bit of everything, it really has. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to the car now. Get nice and warm, get dry. But look at views like that. It's just so beautiful. It really, really is. What a belting walk. And there's just enough time to squeeze in some more photography from the day. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next adventure.